the library where books grow on trees, Arlo wasn't much for talking, but he loved stories. He'd curl up with a book and disappear into Dragon Mountains or Candy Kingdoms for hours. One rainy Tuesday, his favorite bookmarker, Tiny, carved owl slipped from his fingers and hopped off the page. It scurried out the window and into the whispering woods behind his house. Curious, Arlo followed it. Deeper and deeper he went, until the trees opened into a sun-dappled clearing, unlike any he'd seen. This was the Story Grove. Books didn't sit on shelves, here they grew. Plump adventure tales hung like red apples from sturdy oaks. Delicate fairy tales bloomed like pink roses on thorny vines. Thick cookbooks sprouted like striped squash near a babbling brook. Even comic books fluttered like bright butterflies in the branches. Arlo gasped. It was the most beautiful library in the world, but something was wrong. Patches of the grove looked empty. Books hung limp and grey, their pages utterly blank. A sad rustling filled the air, like pages sighing. "Oh, crumbs," chirped a voice. A squirrel in tiny spectacles scampered down a branch, clutching a scroll. Another reader. "I'm Nutmeg, head librarian. See this?" She pointed a paw at a wilting adventure book. "The Blight. It's stealing the stories, word by word. Soon there'll be nothing left but empty covers." Just then, a large owl with feathers like dictionary pages landed softly on a branch above. Indeed, he hooted gravely. "I am Professor Lexicon. The Blight feeds on forgotten words and lonely stories." Without the first word seed, the very first once upon a time that started it, all the grove will fade. The seed was lost years ago. Nutmeg sighed, polishing her spectacles with a leaf, hidden somewhere deep in the whispering thorns. Arlo's heart pounded. He wanted to help, but what could he do? He was just quiet Arlo. Still, the sight of those blank, sad books tugged at him. I'll look for it," he whispered. Nutmeg's eyes lit up. "Brave Arlo, the thorns only part for those who listen closely." Professor Lexicon added, "And remember, every story needs a teller." The whispering thorns were a tangled wall of brambles that seemed to murmur secrets. Arlo took a deep breath and stepped close. Instead of pushing, he listened. Beneath the rustle, he heard faint, scared voices. The voices of stories trapped inside the thorns. "Don't be afraid," Arlo murmured, his quiet voice surprisingly steady. "I'm here to help." As he spoke kindly, the thorns softened, curling back to reveal a hidden path. Deep inside, nestled in a bed of moss, glowed a tiny seed. It pulsed with soft, golden light, shaped like a perfect, curled letter O, the beginning of once. Arlo carefully picked it up. It felt warm, like a promise. But as he turned to leave, the blight surged. A wave of grey mist rolled in, making the nearby story flowers droop. The seed's light flickered. "Quick," hooted Professor Lexicon. "Plant it in the heartwood, the oldest tree." Arlo ran as fast as a quiet boy could, Nutmeg racing beside him. They reached the mighty heartwood just as the blight crept close. Arlo knelt and pressed the first word seed into the rich soil at the tree's base. Nothing happened. The blight thickened. Arlo felt tears prick his eyes. He'd failed. Then he remembered the professor's words. Every story needs a teller. He wasn't just a finder, he was a reader. Taking a breath, Arlo did something he rarely did. He spoke aloud, not loudly, but clearly, with all the love he had for stories. Once upon a time, the seed blazed. Golden light exploded from the heartwood, racing through roots and branches like liquid sunshine. It washed over the blank books, filling their pages with swirling ink and vibrant pictures. Roses of fairy tales bloomed anew, adventure apples plumped up, red and shiny. Even the comic butterflies fluttered with fresh, bold colors. The blight shrank back, dissolving into harmless mist. The story groves sighed with joy, leaves rustling 1,000 happy stories at once. Nutmeg hugged Arlo's finger. You saved us, Arlo. Professor Lexicon bowed his feathery head. Your quiet voice held the most powerful magic of all the courage to begin. Arlo smiled, no longer feeling so small. He knew now that stories weren't just for reading alone, but they were for sharing, for speaking up, for believing in beginnings. And as he walked home, the carved owl bookmark warm in his pocket, he heard the woods whispering a brand new story, one with his name in it.